I get it, the Phillies won. I do. But that game was insanely nerve-wracking, and I'm not happy about it. That game did not have to be as nerve-wracking as it was. The Phillies managed to win 9-6 against the Chicago Cubs. They managed to split this series 2 games apiece, going into Milwaukee. But this win doesn't feel good because we know that the Phillies probably could have had at least 3 wins in this series, but we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We keep allowing the Chicago Cubs to get back into the ballgame when we should close the game out. Especially today. The Phillies went up really early, they got a big lead, and they still let the Cubs back into this ballgame, making it too close to the very end. So, like I said earlier, the Phillies got up really early, with Harper driving in McCutchen early in this ballgame, and then a pass ball with the bases loaded from John Lester brings in Harper from third base. So the Phillies are getting up early, and also you have later in this ballgame, JT Realmuto hits an absolute bomb out of Wrigley Field. And then you also have Gene Segura hitting a 2-run bomb to make it 7-0. So you think 7-0 with your ace Aaron Nola on the mound, who had a really great game last time against the Colorado Rockies. 7-0 lead, Aaron Nola, easy win. First 3 innings, he looked like he was dominating. First 3 innings, like I said, no hits allowed from the Chicago Cubs. Aaron Nola looked fine. And then as going into the 4th inning, it just looked like it was about to collapse. You get the first hit from the Chicago Cubs, and then suddenly it's 7-3. It looked like they were about to run Aaron Nola out of the ballpark during this inning, but Aaron Nola managed to get out of that jam. He managed just to keep the run deficit 7-3. And then the 5th inning, the Phillies do get an insurance run with Herrera grounding out with an RBI, but the 6th inning is what really boggles my mind the rest of this game. 6th inning onward. Aaron Nola starts his inning. He gets an out. Then he walks the next batter. Gabe Kapler decides to take him out of this ball game for Adam Morgan. It just... Why? Why are we taking Aaron Nola out of this ball game where he could have easily finished off the inning? I know there's some moments in this game where he was struggling with his command. He was struggling to find his spots, but let the dude finish out the inning and let him get out of his jam, even though there was only one person on base. Why is Kapler taking Nola out of this ballgame? So, on the stat line for Nola, he goes 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Dude could have easily finished off the 6th inning. Don't know why he was literally on at least the high 80s to low 90s in pitch count. I don't understand the decision by Gabe Kapler. He brings in Adam Morgan. Morgan gets himself into a little jam. He only gets 1 out. And then Kapler decides to bring in Anthony Dominguez, who tries to work out of the jam. And then it's a really close play at third base with Rodriguez and Chris Bryant, where Rodriguez slips a little bit on the tag, but he still manages to get Chris Bryant on time. It takes review to confirm that he is out, but he is out nonetheless. But it's still just, why? Why couldn't you just let Nola finish his inning? And then going into the bottom of the 7th inning, surprisingly, Pat Neshek comes into a game. He decides that he wants to pitch. I am stunned. I was shocked. Why is he pitching? I thought you needed more rest. Apparently, having all this day of rest, he forgot how to pitch. As the Phillies had an 8-3 lead going into this inning, it was 8-6 after Pat Neshek got taken out of the 7th inning. He allows a 2-run bomb to Kyle Schwarber, and then before the next run, which was an Anthony Rizzo solo shot, the broadcast booth mentions that the Phillies relievers and the pitching in general, this game, with a 7-0 lead, they don't look like they're trying to attack the batters. They look like they're playing defensive. They look like they're playing afraid with a 7-0 lead. And I instantly agree with them. These pitchers did not look like they were attacking the lineup. I get you're going up against the Chicago Cubs lineup, and the lineup is elite, don't get me wrong, but when you have a 7-0 lead, be aggressive. Make them try to hit the ball. Just go out there and pitch your game. Don't be afraid. And that's exactly what the relievers did. They were afraid. Especially Pat Neshek. He forgot how to pitch, and it's 8-6. And then Gabe Kapler, decides to bring in Jose Alvarez. I don't know why I said Pedro. And then he gets out of that little part of the seventh inning, but then he decides to go back to the Jesus. Jose Alvarez again. I don't know why I'm getting his name wrong. Jose Alvarez comes back in the eighth inning. Why? The second time Kepler has done this. I get it the first time, it worked. But it almost worked this time, but it didn't. He gets 2 outs in the eighth inning, and then allows 2 runners on. And then you're forcing Hector Neris to come into this game to make a 4-out save when it's 9-6 at this point. And the bottom of the ninth inning, oh my god, I almost had 10 heart attacks. So Rizzo gets on with a bunt single. He bunts it away from the shit. That's a really good play from Rizzo. I give him credit to that. That was one of the smartest plays I've ever seen. And then, at this point, Neris can't hit the strike zone. He walks Contreras, but then he gets a really big strikeout on Jason Hayward. Really big strikeout because he fell down in the count 3-0, but he managed to come back into the count to get Hayward to strike out. And you could see Jason Hayward was pissed after that play because he was up 3-0 in the count and he allowed it to come back at him and strike him out. As you can see him walking back to the dugout, and he breaks the bat over his knee. So he was really pissed after that. But then, 1 out. The Cubs decide to bring in Chatwood, who is a pitcher, by the way, to pinch hit, because he's one of their best hitting pitchers. RBI double. RBI double for a pitcher. Puts runners on second and third, making it a 9-7 ball game. 9-7, with 1 out left. And then Hector Neris manages to close the door. He gets a strikeout and he gets the pop up. That game was too nerve-wracking. Insanely nerve-wracking. And I just want to know something. Why did we use so many pitchers this ball game? We were up 7-0. Why didn't Aaron Nola finish that? Why didn't Aaron Nola finish the game? That's my question. And a little stat for here. Through the beginning of the 6th inning, this is including Aaron Nola, Gabe Kapler used 5 pitches to get through the 6th inning and the 7th inning. Why? I just don't get it. He used Aaron Nola, Adam Morgan, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Pat Neshek, and Jose Alvarez. Used 5 pitchers to get out of 2 innings. It's unbelievable. No wonder why our bullpen needs so much rest, because we're using so many pitchers in one ball game to bring in one guy to pitch 1 out. It's ridiculous. And then, I guess some interesting offensive stats for the Phillies tonight. Andrew McCutchen goes 2 for 4. He gets 2 RBIs. He was really big in the lineup today. Gene Segura, he goes 2 for 5. He gets a big home run, like I said earlier. Bryce Harper, he goes 1 for 4. Rhys Hoskins goes 1 for 4. Then you get JT Realmuto. He goes 1 for 4. He hit the absolute bomb out of Wrigley Field. Scott Kingery, who was playing for Cesar Hernandez today, he goes 2 for 4. He looked like he was getting some nice swings on the ball today. And Sean Rodriguez, he was playing for Michael Franco. He went 2 for 5. So nice little game from Rodriguez. He looked like he was getting really good wood on the ball. And it was just, pitching-wise, I'm really confused of why we used so many pitchers. We used 6 pitchers today. We didn't need to use that many. Adam Morgan goes an inning and a third. Sir Anthony Dominguez goes an inning and a third. Pat Neshek goes 2 innings and a third. Couldn't get out of that 7th inning. Jose Alvarez pitches an inning, and Hector Neris pitches an inning and a third. And he gets the save. So, my question is why. I'm kind of understanding why our bullpen is in the problem that it is, because Gabe Kapler is just mishandling this bullpen with beyond questionable doubt. I just don't understand why Gabe Kapler decides to go with that many bullpen pitchers. I just don't get it. And I can understand you want the right matchups, but there are moments in baseball where you need a gut feeling. You need that gut feeling. You need to have this feeling that I want this guy out there for this specific spot. I don't care what the numbers tell me. I want this guy out there because he's been pitching good lately. I don't care I understand analytics are becoming a big part of the game, but analytics should not be the first thing that you look at. Analytics should be a side thing that you look at to get certain plays going, certain matchups going, but they shouldn't be the Bible. You shouldn't follow them for every little detail of the game. And that's sometimes what Gabe Kapler does way too much. He goes by the analytics book way too much. And that is my one problem. Because this series in general, this specific series, he's starting to show signs of last year's Gabe Kapler, where he's overmanaging the entire ball game. Don't get it. I'm not happy with this win. Even though we won, it puts us 9 games over 500. We are now 29-20, I think. And basically, it's not good. It's not a good feeling right now because we had many chances to close this ball game out, and we just didn't. And I'm sure I was talking with my buddy throughout this ball game. He was pissed as well. He was sending me images of a trash can, just complaining about the entire pitching staff today. Trash. I wouldn't say Aaron Nola was trash, but he did have iffy moments, but he should have at least gone 6 full innings. I don't know why Kapler decided to take him out. And you have a game tomorrow in Milwaukee, a team that embarrassed you at Citizens Bank Park a week and a half ago. So you're going to go into tomorrow's game when you used 4 relievers yesterday. I think at least 4 to 5 relievers today. Don't understand it. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this game? What are your guys' thoughts on this series? Do you guys have many complaints about this series? Do you guys have complaints about our misusage of the bullpen? So, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.